An I-9 investigation has discovered that some school districts in eastern Iowa are spending tens of thousands of dollars on food and dining, charging it on district credit cards or P-cards. People in the Dubuque School District, for example, have charged nearly $100,000 worth of food since 2015. Nearly $24,000 of that went to pizzerias alone. So how does the district know if those charges are legitimate? KCRG TV9's chief investigative reporter Josh Scheinblum went to some auditors to find out.
The superintendent for the Dubuque Community School District says P-cards allow for, in his words, flexibility. But you may be surprised to know he wasn't able to explain what auditors are looking for when they review their finances. So we set out to see who is watching what those district cards are buying.
How many computers could we get for $100,000 for students? How many teachers could we have hired for $100,000 just by eliminating the food program from the P-cards?
So that comparison is an easy one to make, but without knowing what those P-cards were spent for. Again, I don't know what percentage of that was fundraised by students, more than you think.
Dubuque Community Schools Superintendent Stan Reingans stands behind spending on district P-cards. He told us he's confident an auditor would catch any issues. State law requires each district perform an audit every year. School boards get to hire the auditor. The firm that did the audits is Dubuque-based Jim Kircher and Associates, at a total cost to taxpayers of more than $40,000 for 2015 and 16. The board has approved that they will also do audits for the school district through 2019. In each audit Kircher has done since 2015, it found no questionable spending in Dubuque. TV9 invited Mike Kircher with the auditing company to sit down for an interview to discuss its process. He initially agreed, but the day before we were scheduled to meet had a change of heart in an email telling us, quote, "After further consideration about the interview request, our firm has decided to decline the request. We have no other comment on the matter," end quote. So to learn more, we reached out to Keith Oltrangi, an auditor in Denver, Iowa. His firm has done hundreds of school audits over the years, including the most recent audit that went through the finances of the Turkey Valley Community School District, a district that spent less than $60 on outside food purchases on their credit cards in all of 2016.
How can anyone go through all of that and then come back with a determination of whether there was questionable spending or not?
Well, you can. Basically, the questionable spending is just the items that we noted. I mean, everything's done on a kind of a random sample basis. And if you have, we probably look at, 10% of the transactions, if even that.
In his audit, Oltrangi's firm found more than $316 in questionable spending in Turkey Valley. Issues reports filed with the state say have been addressed. Thorough audits, Oltrangi believes, are important because he argues any funds the district uses, regardless of how it comes to be in their possession, is all taxpayer money.
Technically, even the revenues that come in from the gate receipts of a basketball or football game are taxpayer money too, because they belong to the district, and the district is owned by the taxpayers.
And with so many cards and so many purchases in Dubuque, it becomes difficult to get a complete accounting.
Even you'll concede we don't know how large taxpayers are footing the bill for $100,000.
We do know that. I don't know that. Sitting here, the district knows that, and we could certainly pull that information, but I don't have that off the top of my head.
We followed up to find out that percentage breakdown. In a letter, district officials told us, quote, "We don't track that percentage," end quote. That alone, Oltrangi says, may raise a red flag.
You would think they could come up with some kind of estimate.
Dubuque was able to account for each transaction we asked about. TV9 reached out to Dubuque's Board of Education for comment on their food purchases. We received the following statement from board member Craig Beitine, who told us in part, quote, "Each and every use is documented and must be justified. I applaud our staff for the level of transparency with regard to tracking all expenditures and ensuring sound stewardship of taxpayer resources," end quote. Officials with the school district said in order to find out the exact breakdown of that food spending we'd asked for would be impossible, quote, "without literally pulling every transaction by hand," end quote. In studio, Josh Scheinblum, KCRG, TV9 News.